Garama!
Hey everyone, it's Toki, and for the first time in a long while, I'm attempting Inktober. For any of you who don't know, Inktober is a drawing challenge where artists are supposed to make a drawing, preferably using inks, for each day of October while following a prompt list. People have also made various versions of this like Drawtober, Pinktober, Goretober, October, etc. But I'll be using the official Inktober prompt list. While this technically isn't my first time trying to do this challenge, it is my first time actually using only inks to do so. In my last attempts, I would always just do it digitally because I think I was just afraid to leave what had become my comfort zone. But about a month ago, I bought a new sketchbook because I told myself I wanted to start doing traditional art again, at least a little bit. But by the end of the month, I had only filled one page and had little to no desire to continue. So my next plan was to use the Inktober challenge to get myself to draw at least one thing in my sketchbook every day. And then I got to day 6 and remembered that, hey, I'm trying to do this content creator thing and I could do some sort of Inktober series, or at least post my drawings on the internet. So I redrew all my drawings in one day so I could record the process and make a video about it. Yeah. Anyway, the prompt for day 1 was mustache. And I thought of those old Victorian portraits of dudes with the gnarly mustaches. So I basically drew one of those, but instead of a man, I drew a bunny instead. I think it came out okay. I preferred the one I drew first in my sketchbook when I didn't care as much and wasn't recording though. I used a white paint marker to add some highlights at the end, and that's my drawing for day 1. The prompt for day 2 was weave, and so I've been playing Silk Song since it released, and I'm still playing it. I'm trying to 100% it if I can. So when I first heard weave, I immediately thought of the Weavers and drew the first sinner, which is a boss that's a weaver. It's such a cool boss fight, very well telegraphed. Well, almost all the Hollow Knight bosses are well telegraphed, but I don't know, this one was just one of those bosses. It was just so fun, even if you struggled. I blocked in this black background because I really wanted to show the silk strings and balls all around her. I just wish the white of the paper matched the white of my paint marker a little better. I actually did this ink drawing 3 times. Once in my sketchbook, like I said earlier, then when I went to redraw it for this video, not only did my camera cut out a huge chunk of the recording, but I made a pretty huge mistake with part of the inking that I didn't fully notice until I was pretty much done. So I threw it away and drew it a 3rd time. Thankfully, I just had to redo the inking since I kept the sketch on a separate paper. I'm using a light box that my husband got me for our anniversary when I said I wanted to do more traditional art stuff. So I finally started using it for this Inktober challenge, and I'm very happy that I did. Day 3's prompt was crown, and I drew a man with the crown of thorns on his head bleeding, obviously inspired by Jesus Christ. After I was done with the sketch, I went over the crown with a black marker just to make sure it stood out to me while I traced over with the ink, because I just felt like there was a lot going on and was scared that if I zoned out I would mess up, because that happens to me a lot. That's actually what happened with the last drawing. But unlike digital medium, I can't just undo or lasso my errors away. So I wanted to do what I could to make my brain fully register what I was doing so I could make less mistakes. I'm honestly not sure how I feel about how this drawing turned out. I made a lot of errors during the inking process that my mind just wishes I could undo or transform away, but it doesn't work that way with ink. Also, with every mistake I made, I could tell that my brushstrokes were getting less confident, which made my line work a bit wonky at certain points. I think the biggest hurdle I'm having with this challenge is confidence, actually. I'm fine during the sketching phase, but I'm so unfamiliar working with brush pens, and I feel a bit nervous recording myself doing something I don't think I'm very good at. I edited it out, but there were a few times where I had to pause because my hands started shaking so much. I guess, at the very least, I'm happy that I'm getting the drawings done. The prompt for day 4 was murky, and I immediately thought of the phrase murky waters, which I know is a saying that references uncertain or problematic situations. But I decided to draw literal murky waters, and I ended up drawing this, which I might be tripping, but after staring at it for a while, I'm pretty sure I've seen something very similar to this years ago, like when I was in college maybe. I hope I'm not unintentionally plagiarizing anyone, but it's just a body of water with a bunch of plastic trash in it. There's a big jug, a bottle, a plastic bag, a mask, and the lid for one of those fast food drinking cups. This drawing didn't take very long, but also I didn't have much fun with it, except the hatching. I always enjoy a nice hatching and cross-hatching session. The large jug in the middle specifically was really satisfying to me. I don't know why, even now just looking at it, I'm like, I feel so serene. Anyway, that's my drawing for day 4. Day 5's prompt was deer, and I made my favorite drawing so far. So at first I didn't know whether I should draw an actual deer or draw fan art for Chopper from One Piece. So I drew a deer wearing Chopper's pre-time skip hat, and I think she came out really cute. For every part of her fur that would be brown, I did this patterned hatching that kind of intersected into a cross hatching at the edge of the sides of her face. I also loved that I had all these areas where I could do blocks of solid black, like the hat, her nose, her eyes. It all feels balanced, you know? I think there's a good balance of solid blacks, blank white spaces, and hatching. And it all came together really nicely, I think. After I finished this drawing, I stared at it for a bit and was like, I kind of want to frame it and put it up on my wall. I just really like how it turned out. Okay, it is now time for day 6, and I can finally do the actual drawing of the day. The prompt for today is Pierce, and again, Silksong I've been playing, and I've been watching other people play, and last night I was watching this guy's Twitch VODs, and he was struggling with the second phase of the Widow boss fight so much. He had to take a pretty long break and come back to her later. But when he beat her finally, he was so happy, and I was so happy for him. And I think that was just in the back of my head because I literally spent the past 2 days just having his VODs playing in the background as I worked and even as I ate. So when I saw the prompt was Pierce, the image of Hornet piercing Widow at the end of the boss fight was very vivid in my mind. Not vivid enough to completely draw from memory, of course. I still used a reference. But yeah, I also really like that Silksong's characters' bodies are mostly made up of simple black shapes. I'm very happy when the subject of my Inktober drawings have solid black shapes in there. I think I may have done a bit too much of the hatching on Hornet though. Maybe? But I feel like I needed to add something to her cloak because I wanted to leave Widow's cloak blank, and that takes up a lot of the space. So if I left Hornet's cloak blank as well, it would have felt too flat, I think. Especially since there's overlap with the two cloaks. Well, anyway, I still liked how it turned out for the most part. Hey everyone, it's day 7, and the prompt is Starfish. I was very tempted to just draw fan art of Patrick from SpongeBob. Yeah, just letting you know that. At first, when I saw the prompt, I was like, ooh, what can I do with this? Because I couldn't think of anything very creative. But soon after, I just decided to go with a simple drawing of a starfish that didn't take very long because I needed to finish this drawing, edit this recording and all the previous recordings, and do the voiceover to make this video. Yeah, so just kept it really simple. I decided to use my thicker brush pen to do the line art for the overall star shape because I wanted it to be a little bit chunkier, and then I used my smaller one to do the details. I don't know if you guys can tell, but by this point my smaller brush pen started to fray a little bit, and it was kind of annoying. I think I was pressing down a little too hard at the beginning when I was doing the little circles, so it's likely my own fault though. From now I think I'm gonna try, to do some of these in advance so I'm not having to rush to edit the video to have it up on the day I wanted to. But yeah, that's my day 7 and the end of my week 1 of Inktober. I am super determined to do all 31 days and finally beat this dang challenge that has taunted me for years. Also, if you like bunnies or stickers or cute stickers of bunnies, check out my online store. The link is in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more content from me. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one.